The vaquita porpoise is the most critically endangered marine mammal species on the planet. This tiny marine mammal is only found in the upper Gulf of California and has the most restricted range of any cetacean. Recent reports suggest there are fewer than 19 animals in existence today. Particularly harmful to the porpoise are gill nets used to catch a large fish, the totoaba, which is butchered for its swim bladder and sold for thousands of dollars on international black markets. Vaquitas become entangled in these nets and drown.
The last totoaba season, we recovered about 500 nets and 400 were for totoaba.
In 2017, an emergency field effort was undertaken in an attempt to rescue vaquitas from extinction. The effort was called VaquitaCPR and involved over 90 experts from across the globe.
VaquitaCPR was a really bold move on the part of conservation scientists that came together to figure out what could be done differently. What could we do to actually help pull the vaquita back from the brink of extinction?
Very little is known about vaquitas, so the rescue plan was built on decades of knowledge and experience with other porpoise species. The goal of VaquitaCPR was to bring vaquitas into temporary human care until all gill nets could be removed from their habitat, enabling them to return to a safe home.
Okay, thank you.
The effort involved finding, catching, and then caring for vaquitas. A large vessel was utilised as the sighting platform in order to locate vaquitas from great distances. An international scientific and veterinary team was assembled to safely catch and care for the animals. A land-based housing and veterinary facility were built on the neighbouring coastline to provide a place of shelter in the event of severe weather. Large sea pens were designed, constructed, and anchored in the Gulf to provide temporary housing. During the month-long operation, 2 vaquitas were safely rescued using light nets, and acclimation to the sea pens was attempted. The first animal rescued was a young female vaquita. Despite attempts to keep her calm and comfortable, she was released 4 hours later due to outward signs of stress. The second animal rescued was an older female vaquita. Although the animal showed positive signs of acclimation, she abruptly began to show evidence of distress. An emergency release was performed, but the animal circled back and was in need of critical care. Sadly, she did not respond to emergency care and did not survive the night. Following this event, it was determined by an expert advisory group that the rescue efforts should end. The lack of success in relocating vaquitas into temporary protection emphasizes the need to improve our understanding of all threatened cetacean species when there are hundreds to thousands of animals remaining, not a handful. This will give scientists more time to learn about the species' adaptability to new environments before the situation becomes dire. Conservation approaches should be integrated into broader efforts to conserve ecosystems and involve the human communities that depend on them. Net pulling efforts must continue to remove deadly nets from the vaquita's path.
We have to be very committed to getting those nets out of the water. It's going to take some time to change the fishing cultures. And this is a global issue. It's not as desperate, but it's a very global issue that gill nets and marine mammals that have to live where gill nets are just incompatible.
VaquitaCPR has launched a new effort called Project Esperanza, which is an international collaboration aimed at critical actions to save the last vaquitas from extinction. VaquitaCPR partner Museo de la Ballena puts local fishers to work to help find and pull gill nets. Continuous monitoring of vaquitas must continue by supporting the scientists utilizing underwater listening devices to locate and monitor the abundance of vaquitas. VaquitaCPR's partners at Canabio in Mexico are doing this important work. Ultimately, the decision to save vaquitas is in all of our hands. The problem is too complex for one individual, one organization, or even one country to solve. It will take all of us working together to solve the problems. Visit VaquitaCPR.org and please join the cause to save vaquitas from extinction.